She goes to run into the door of Wonderland. And Cassie just opens it. I understand, she says, reading my mind. You're not used to feeling stupid. Trust me, you'll get used to it. So they're in Wonderland, right? And they strap Cassie up. Why did they strap Cassie up? And Marika, or Ringer, or whatever we're calling her now, says it at one point that she should have done it. Like, she would have been able to handle it. I'm wondering what's going to happen when she comes out. That it can't be all fine and dandy. I'm really scared. But Ringer talks about why she didn't do it. She could have taken it, and it's because, why did you let her do it? But I know the answer to that question. The 12th system can only enhance the human body. It is helpless against fear. It can't give me the one thing that Cassie Sullivan has in abundance. I thought I knew what courage was. I was even arrogant enough to lecture Zombie about it, but I had no idea what true and undiluted courage was until this moment. The unidentifiable something I saw in her eyes is part of it, the root from which her courage sprang. Cassie has so many flaws. Ringer listed them off earlier in the book, but the one thing she has is courage. She's not afraid to do what needs to be done and sacrifice herself for the greater good. And so she comes out of Wonderland, and I'm really scared. I'm scared that she's gonna be upset or mad or angry or like not confused, not know what the hell is going on. She starts talking about how beautiful it all is. She is everyone. She has everyone's memories inside of her. She's kind of like the human race. She's symbolic of humanity, and she says it over and over and over. She's always saying how I am humanity, I am the battlefield, I am human. She says it over and over. And here she is, quite literally humanity. And so Ringer has to leave her because someone's coming. She thinks it's Vosh. We know it's not Vosh. No. No. Evan Walker is going to kill me. It is the beginning of the end in terms of my composure. From here on out, goner. And then he goes for Cassie, and you will not kill Cassie. And I'm thinking she's strapped to the chair, and he goes in there and she's not there. And I'm like, well, where the hell is she then? And she's escaped. Because she's clever, and she's Cassie, and she's amazing. She sets up like a booby trap. The silencer leaps, extending its body to its full length, parallel to the ground, flying a foot above the floor, arms outstretched, fingers spread wide. Its only hope to catch the crimson cord before it makes contact with the water. The line that gracefully falls slips through the silencer's fingers. The light glints off the wires as they touch ground silently like falling snow. And then there's the possibility that Evan just died. The 12th system doesn't clink in my head properly. It's not until kind of later on where I'm like, oh wait, he had the 12th system, he could have survived. But right now I'm like, dear God, Evan just died. Cassie just killed Evan. So then we have a conversation between Ringer and Bosch. This is it. We need to find everything out. By now we have most of it pieced together. The aliens come down to protect the planet, keep us at a sustainable level. You haven't told me why. He doesn't scold about having just told me why. He knows I'm not asking about his motives. Because the universe has no limits, but life does. Life is rare, Marika, and therefore precious. It must be preserved. If they may be said to have anything resembling human faith, it is that. All life is worthy of existence. The Earth is not the first planet they have saved. I'm not 100% sure if it's just the fact that they want to save the Earth and that life is precious, or it's more about the fact that they do want to live on this planet. Maybe a combination of both. And the reason they didn't just kill us with a big rock is because they don't want to wipe us out completely, not yet at least. As I said, I'm not 100% sure if the plan was to eventually come down or what, that kind of thing. But the thing is, we end it before we need to know, so I'm not worried about it. I whisper, too late. No, this broken body is nothing, worthless, it's not too late. It is for you, I tell him. Behind him, Cassie Sullivan takes the cue. She presses the gun to the back of my creator's head and pulls the trigger. Finally! He's dead, he's gone, he's out of the pictures. Cassie came and saved the day because she's awesome. We found out this weird obsession Bosch has with Ringer is that he loved her. I guess he kind of felt like a father figure to her. At least that's what I got from it. He kneels beside me, creator father cradling my head in his hands, and he starts crying. It seems like he cares for her an awful lot and he loved her. It also turns out that he was selfish and he made a deal with them so that he could survive when everyone else dies. What a moron. He turns out to be this coward. Oh. Evan's gone, she says in a dead voice. I know, I tell her. He's the one who did this to me. Her eyes slide from Vosh to me. Did what? Broke my back. I can't move my legs, Cassie. She shakes her head. Evan, Vosh, me. Too much to process. Her eyes are dry, but she's about to break. I can hear it in her voice, filled with sick wonder. I killed him, Ringer. I killed Evan Walker. No, Cassie. Whatever attacked me wasn't human. I think Vosh erased his memory, his human memory, and I know that, she snaps. It's the last thing he heard before they took it from him. Erased the human. And then... So I'm in tears, right? Because of that conversation. And we then move on to Cassie putting Ringer in a cupboard, basically. She stands up, steady on her feet now, and her mouth firmly set. He's not going to understand. He's going to be pissed as hell, and you're going to explain it to him. You're going to tell him what happened and why, and you're going to take care of him, understand? You're going to keep him safe and make sure he bathes and brushes his teeth and trims his nails and wears clean underwear and learns to read. Teach him to be patient and to be kind and to trust everyone, even strangers, especially strangers. She pauses. There was something else. Oh yeah, make him understand it isn't random, that there's no way 7 billion atoms could accidentally collapse into a person called Samuel Jackson Sullivan. What else? Oh, nobody is allowed to call him Nugget ever again for the rest of his life. I mean, really, so stupid. This whole journey, everything that has happened has been for Sammy. Book 1 was about Cassie finding Sammy and saving her little brother, and now she's saying goodbye to Ringer and she's forcing her to raise Sammy and look after Sammy because she's about to kill herself for Sammy. And I just crumpled into a ball and I couldn't take it anymore. And then we move on to the 7 billion. We are humanity, we are one. We are the girl with the broken back sword in an empty room waiting for the end to come. We are the man who's fallen a half-mile away, and the only thing still living in us is not alive, but an alien device that directs every resource at its disposal to saving our body lying on the cold stone to shock our hearts back to life. There is no difference between us and the system. The 12th system is us, and we are the 12th system. If one should fail, the other would die. It's right, it's this long list of humanity, and it's this and that, and I'm sat there, hysterical. And it's so beautiful and sad and epic. We are humanity. Our name is Cassiopeia. In us the rage, in us the grief, in us the fear, in us the faith, the hope, the love. We are the vessel of 10,000 souls. We carry them, we hold them, we keep them. We bear their burden, and through us their lives are redeemed. They rest in us, and we in them. Our heart contains all others. One heart, one life, on the advent of a mayfly's final flight. And of course we go to Cassie. Aliens are stupid. And I wanted to laugh. I couldn't though. It was too much this time. There's no coming back from what just happened. They had no answer for love. They thought they could crush it out of us, burn it from our brains, replace love with its opposite, not hate, indifference. They thought they could turn men into sharks, but they couldn't account for that one little thing. They had no answer for it because it wasn't answerable. It wasn't even a question. The problem of that damned bear. The journey of bear is not even over. The way Rick did this was genius. And then Ringer realizes that Cassie has the capsule, and it clicks into place what she's gonna do. And then Ringer crawls over to Vosh's body, and she has his button thing that will kill everyone. And it's so sad to see that it's come to this, that she has to kill so many innocent people, but she doesn't have a choice. And I'm kind of willing her not to do it, but I know she doesn't have a choice. Telling myself I don't have a choice, telling myself I'm not his creation, I'm not what he has made me, and it's so epic. And then we go to Ben, and they're about to get shot, and he flings himself in front of Sammy. Cassie is about to die, and she's trying to go in the pod, but she's surrounded by people. And then Ringer presses the button. We go back to zombie, and all the people collapse and die, and they have to jump from the airplane, and it's insane. The pod shivers. I feel like raising my hands. Yes, Daddy, I want to fly. What? And then we cut to zombie, and we nearly use bear, and we don't lose bear. It's okay. But we nearly lose bear, and for a second there, I was really scared. We're going back and forth between Zombie and Cassie, and Zombie's with Sam. No, Nugget, she probably didn't make it. Before I can say the words, Megan slaps my chest and points towards the base. A shining ball of green light shoots over the tree tops into the rose-colored sky. The afterimage lingers in our eyes long after it's lost in the atmosphere. It's a shooting star, she says. I shake my head. Wrong direction. I guess in the end I was wrong. And then we have a Cassie section, which is a couple pages long, and she goes on a sentimental way. She waffles on for a little bit. Count the stars, go on, number the grains of sand. That's me, I am humanity. She's talking about how she has everyone inside of her, and it's so beautiful, but at the same time it's so devastating. And then, my god, we have the Cassiopeia section, which is just the most beautiful and upsetting thing ever. Reading the name Cassiopeia, we know that this is it. We know that we're never going to read from her again. And I'm not ready. I'm not ready to say goodbye, but at the same time, I can't stop reading. I'm not cold anymore. I'm not cold anymore. The arms of 7 billion enfold me. I rise. Now I lay me down to sleep. I draw deep, my final breath. When in morning light I wake, I bite down hard. The seal breaks. Teach me the path of love to take. I step into the out there and breathe. In her final moments, she's still thinking of Sammy. And at the time, I didn't even realize that it was his stupid prayer. Reading it back now, Cassie just died. I can't. She sacrificed herself. It was so beautiful. And it hurts. It hurts. And then, of course, we go to Zombie. We finally get Ben and Ringer together. I think they both finally accepted the fact that they will end up together. Walker, she gasped, pointing over my shoulder down the long hallway. I shake my head. She's hurt, and I still imagine I'd worry about him for even a second. I touch her shoulder. Her dark hair brushes the back of my hand. Her eyes shine. Brightness goes all the way down. You found me, she says. I kneel beside her. I take her hand. I found you. My back is broken, she says. I can't walk. I slide my arms beneath her. I'll carry you. It's very reminiscent of their conversation in the barn, how she's talking about how weak she is, and he's like, I'll be beside you, and she's like, I can't move, and he says, I'll carry you. But also, at this time, I'm devastated about the fact that Cassie's died, and I think by now I've clicked onto the fact that Evan might just be, like, alive, especially after she said that, and I'm like, oh my god, the 12 system, like, he's probably gonna survive, he's probably gonna end up living without her. And the fact that Ben found her, it's such an Evan Cassie moment. Like, it's so typical for Evan to find Cassie broken and to help her, like, especially during the 5th wave. But now it's Ben and Ringer because there is no more Evan and Cassie, and the tears. I had to put the book down. I just couldn't. So then we have Marble Falls, right? And so in terms of my journey of reading this book, I've since then had a break. So we start off with Ben. Like, as I said, I liked Ben. And I'm really happy that Ben survived. And it's Christmas and he's getting a tree. The happiness right now is unreal. Sammy's in the back somewhere and the guy has a gun. They have this little conflict and we see Ben trying to fix Sammy because he's broken. He's been through so much. He's been raised into this world. And we have this battle that none of this will end until people start putting down the guns and learn to trust each other again. And then the guy shoots himself. Sad to see that this is the end, this is what the world is now, and that we need to accept this. And they're going to try and fix the world. There's so little of the population left, but I feel like the population will kind of grow and people will start to learn to trust each other, and I feel like people will have to learn from everything that has just happened and move forward with that knowledge. The importance of being human and saving each other. And Cassie told Marika to tell Sam that he needs to trust everyone, especially strangers, because we can't let this go on anymore. Cassie's so smart. And then we go to Marika, and in this, she starts talking about the crying, and I'm thinking, Megan? Is this Megan? The crying came with the dark, it always did. I sat in the rocker, holding her in my lap. She had just fed, so I knew she wasn't hungry. I cupped her cheek and gently crawled into her, skirting her need. Ben, she wanted Ben. Don't worry, I told her. He's coming back, he promised. And then it clicks that it's the baby, and the relief washes over me because I wanted this child to survive. I needed this child to survive. It's Razor. And I'm so happy. And it's a happy moment. She's with the baby loves Ben, Ben's gonna be this baby's father, and then it carries on, right? I drew the blanket tighter around her. The night was cloudy and the wind was cold off the river. The light from the fireplace flowed through the windows behind me and lay gleaming on the boards. Evan Walker stepped into the porch and leaned his rifle against the rain. Evan survived! Of course he survived. He had the 12th system, but the freak out was so intense. He's there and he's with them and they trust him. Finally they trust him. The happiness was short-lived because of what is about to happen in Evan terms, but... And then that's not even it. It gets better. Walker came out of the kitchen to help set up. I stood by the door, bouncing the baby on my hip as she pulled. Ben finally noticed and abandoned the tree to take her in his arms. "What's up, little Mayfly, huh? What's the matter?" Ben just called the baby Mayfly. But then we have Evan. Ouch. I thought we were done with the stabbing in the back. Ring goes on about how maybe she should have left him because now he's just gonna live with the pain of not being with Cassie and knowing what happened. Alternatives were unthinkable though. Kill him or empty him completely, leaving him a human shell with no memory of her at all. Both of those possibilities were painless. We opted for the pain. Pain is necessary, pain is life. Without pain, there can be no joy. Cassie Sullivan taught me that. He turned with something behind his back. I was going to wait till tomorrow, but he shrugged. The bear had seen better days, missing an ear, fur that had gone from brown to a splotchy grey, patched and repatched and patched again. More stutterers than Frankenstein's monster. Messed up, beaten up, but still hanging around, still here. Ben took the bear from him and made it dance from Cassie. They named their baby after Cassie. And then Cassie has Bear. See, that's the thing about that little period of happiness. It was short-lived. It may have been intense, but it was short-lived because then we go to Evan. He's going to leave them. He's tortured, basically, by what has happened. I think it was made pretty clear that his reason for living was Cassie, and now Cassie is gone. She sacrificed himself for something that he should have done. I mean, I can't imagine him not feeling any guilt at all. It sounds like he's come to grips with it, like it's been minimum 9 months, I would imagine. I'm going to talk more about Evan in just a second. You have a point, Evan smiled. The problem is, Killer Ben. You never were. Ben's nice. He's the rock that held them all together. He didn't get enough credit for anything. No one ever gave him any credit. But he kept doing it anyway. And then we have Sam, and it's only right for us to end with Sam. Evan Walker on the bridge crossing the river. Evan Walker with a bag over one shoulder and a rifle over the other, shrinking. It's the last time we're ever gonna hear about Evan Walker. It's sad, okay? I was very sad. And then this whole last paragraph, I can't think about it. I can't look at it. Is one of the most devastatingly beautiful, sentimental, heartfelt, perfect, heartbreaking things I think I've ever read. And then he walked Sam outside and he pointed at the sky. See those stars up there, the ones that kind of look like a sideways W? You know what that is? They sat on the back porch and looked at the stars while Zombie told the story of a queen named Cassiopeia who lived forever on a throne in the sky. But her throne's tilted down, Sam said, looking at the constellation. Won't she fall out? Zombie cleared his throat. She won't fall. Her throne is turned that way so she can keep watch over her realm. What's a realm? Zombie pressed his hand against Sam's chest. This is Zombie's hand to Sam's heart. Here. I did really love it, but there are like one or two little things that I wish would be different, and Evan is one of them. Everything else we have closure. Razor's dead, but we have Cassie 2.0. Cassie's dead, but the aliens lost and humanity will survive. We don't get closure with him. He's left tortured and desperate and upset. I know that, you have the plus side that he's saving loads of people and he's doing what needs to be done and what Cassie, worked so hard for. I love him so much and he doesn't deserve it, and I feel like if Rick would just give us a novella of him on his adventures and maybe he meets someone who he could trust, not necessarily fall in love or anything like that. I feel like that's too far, or it would be too far considering he's okay with leaving him tortured, just to see that he's not gonna die completely upset and alone, not caring anymore. On that aspect, had he gone, he was willing to sacrifice himself for her, just like Cassie was willing to sacrifice herself for Sam's and for the good of humanity. He was the exact same. So on that front, it's not that different. But having Cassie alive and Evan dead, yes, she would have been sad, but she has Sammy and she has Ben, and she would have grown to be okay with Ringer, and she would have stayed with them and they would have had a happy little family situation going on. Obviously, I'm not saying that's what I want to happen. Just because of that aspect, it would be less heart-wrenching to think about every single time. But of course it had to be Cassie. She was too human, and it was the courage thing, and it was beautiful. I don't want to say goodbye to these characters though. Like, I'm not happy with saying goodbye. I don't feel unsatisfied though. I would like it to be longer. Not in terms of changing the plot or anything, just so we could spend more time with the characters before we have to say our final goodbyes. We didn't get enough Cassie Evan moments, in my opinion. I've also come to realise that I don't like the movie that much. Like, in my review, I feel like I was just so relieved that I was like, it wasn't horrible, blah 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 blah. But when you compare it to the source material, it's not as good. After I finished this, I had such a weird emotion. It was such a mixture of both happiness and sadness. The cover is spectacular. It gives me all the feelings. Survival by Eminem is a song that whenever I listen to, I can't help but think of the fifth wave. And in terms of songs for this one, just this morning listened to Too Much Is Never Enough by Fonts and Machine. It's done for a video game, and like lots of the lyrics represent the video game, but the lyrics just made me tear up and cry all over again. Too much is never enough is like how it goes, and it's like in this situation with Cassie and Evan, too much is never enough. Like, we don't have enough of them. She might die, but at least she tried, and it's like such a Cassie thing, and it makes me cry. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing morning, afternoon, evening / night. My name's Jade. I hope I'll see you again next time. Bye. And he trusts her, and he puts the gun down. He puts the gun down. The Last Star by, oh, okay, it's covered in stuff. Never mind that. There's a siren. Rain? Really? The rain is crying for Cassie. And then Ben, and you should have seen me. I'm literally sat in the corner of my living room, like knees tucked up and everything, underneath this giant lamp, crying my eyes out. My mascara is all down my face. My eyes are so red and puffy, and then I'm sat there laughing my head off. It's like 2 a.m. If people had seen that, they would have been scarred for life.